let me show you a neat trick on saving money and a quick way to set up your X-T2. Now you have the option of sequential, backup, and raw JPEG in your menu for card slot selection. Okay, backup means it's writing the same thing to both cards at the same time, so you have instant dual backup. Sequential means when one fills up, it goes to number 2. Raw JPEG means that it's actually sending, if you shoot, which is what you should be shooting anyway, you should be shooting raw plus fine. You find JPEG, it'll take the raw files, drop them on card 1, and the JPEGs, and drop them on card 2. Okay? So, how does that save you time and money? Well, the little SD cards are expensive, and you're going to want backups, right? Let me actually go down here and refocus. There we go. Let me lock in. To save yourself time and money, we can see here on the left we have a 280 megabit per second SanDisk card, and they replace these with the 300s now. A little bit faster, big deal. This is the UHS-2 cards. You could actually see the dual row of gold contacts versus the UHS-1 cards here on the right. Now, a 32 gigger like this for UHS-2, this is what you're going to have in slot 1, because that's where it's going to be dropping your huge raw files. You're going to have one of those. Okay, whether it's a 300 or a 280 doesn't make any difference, alright? 32 gig, 64 gig, I don't recommend 64 gig, it's too many eggs in one basket, so 64 bucks basically for one of these. You don't have to have the same thing in slot 2 if you shoot in the RAW / JPEG configuration, because it's sending the huge raw files to this card in slot 1 of your X-T2. Over here, this is an Extreme Pro UHS-1 95 megabit per second card. Now ignore the fact that it says 64 here, okay? Let's just pretend it says 32, alright? These are 20 bucks a piece in 32 gig. 62 bucks, 20 bucks, so a third the price. You only need this in slot 2 because the tiny little JPEGs are being dropped onto card 2. Okay? You need the buffering speed for the huge RAWs here with UHS-2 and also for video. Here's your video default, and that's where you should be taking it anyway. Your video is also dropping on card 1. Okay, you're not making dual backups from card 1 to card, your camera don't work that way, not for video. So you definitely need one of these for card slot 1, but you don't need one of these also in slot 2. Now if you want to make instant backups, yeah, you're going to need to buy a pair of those, okay? But you only need the card that's 1/3 the price in slot 2. So if you want to buy like the cards you got in your camera, fine. If you want to buy like 3 redundant setups, your redundant setups, like mine will be, is a redundant setup like this, then another, which I have. So instead of 60 and 60 bucks for a redundant setup, which would be 120, you got 60 and 20, so you got 80 bucks versus 120 bucks. So you save yourself 40 bucks on a redundant. In other words, when everything in the camera is full, swap them out, you save yourself 40 bucks on a redundant backup for your X-T2. Okay? Did that make that perfectly clear? Set your camera up for the right of the RAWs to go to slot 1 and the JPEGs to slot 2. You don't need the super huge fast card. The same size in both slots anyway, regardless. You're going to do 32 and 32. Just ignore the fact that this says 64, okay? 32 and 32 or 64 and 64, however, I don't recommend 64. That's what you want to have it set up as. Saving you money. And also, the other advantage is when you shoot RAW to slot 1 and JPEGs to slot 2, you're also ending up with a bottomless 5 frame per second buffer. Meaning absolutely bottomless. You can just keep on rocking and rolling. And if you let up and start up again, you can just keep rocking and rolling. For heavy duty action that keeps rocking and rolling, that's actually what I would have your Fuji X-T2 set up as. So saves you money and it speeds things up. Does that mean you're not ending up with raw files as a redundant copy on card 2? It's not a true, dual backup? Yes and no. You're getting the same file except it's in JPEG on card 2, so yes, technically that's correct. Nevertheless, save you a lot of time, save you money, and that's the tip of the day for your Fuji X-T2. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.